My friends and I stayed at a rustic cabin in northern Michigan over the weekend, and we've done this trip before, but this was the first time that it's ever been so snowy that we actually had to hike into the cabin. When we got there, we were worried that the water pump might be frozen, so we checked that right away.
Oh, do it again! We have water!
Then we started a fire in the wood stove and then hiked back to the cars to pick up the rest of our stuff. So after 4.5 miles of hiking, we finally got to settle in and go to sleep. The next morning, I went to get a look at the pit toilet situation, and thank goodness there was this air freshener hanging out right here because otherwise this might have smelled really bad. TJ made his famous Dutch oven cinnamon rolls for breakfast, and then we went outside to explore. We started by hiking over to Sturgeon Bay, which was super icy. And our goal was to make it to Lake Michigan from here, but the terrain was kind of challenging because we kept sinking through the snow and the ground was super marshy, so our feet were getting pretty wet.
Just a TJ-shaped hole.
We found a spot where we knew we could get back to the main trail, so we off-roaded it through this gorgeous cedar forest, and while we were in the forest, it started snowing a lot harder. Eventually, we made it back to the trail.
Oh my gosh, were you lost?
Yeah,
How long were you in there?
like days. So we followed the trail to another spot on the bay, and we knew we could make it to Lake Michigan from here, but before that, we took a quick snowball fight break. Once we got going again, we discovered that the trail was basically just a huge sheet of ice, and this did result in a few crash landings, but mostly it was a lot of fun. Along the way, we found this old metal frame that's supposedly a relic from when this was an Army Air Corps testing range during World War II. At this point, the ground started getting wet again, but by now we were almost to Lake Michigan, so we kept going and eventually made it to the beach, where we couldn't even really see the lake because we were basically in a whiteout. But I did find a bunch of balloons stuck in a bush, and I yoinked them so a bird wouldn't choke on them or something, and we followed the coast until we made it back to the cabin where Bonnie, TJ, and Vince made Bonnie's famous Dutch oven chili for dinner. And all afternoon and evening, it just kept snowing, which was very pretty, and it made the cabin feel even cozier. We demolished the chili for dinner, and then TJ made cookies for dessert, and then we played board games until bedtime. Since it snowed all night, the forest was absolutely magical when we woke up the next morning. It was sunny now, and we took a walk down to the beach to check out the ice formations on the lake. It was way colder and windier than yesterday though, so we didn't stay out there for long. Pretty soon it was time to start carrying our stuff back to the cars, and we had to make 2 trips again. Along the way, Vince stopped to help a guy make a quick snowmobile repair, and then we all teamworked our giant cooler out of there. And after hauling all that stuff, we were hungry, so we went into Mackinac City for lunch. The food was fantastic, and we even got to pick up a couple of Michigan chillers to keep us entertained on the drive home.